Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have a review for you from DC Comics under their Black Label. This is Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham, #1. Get into the. We got Bill Willingham is the writer and also the creator of Fables. We got Brisn Level did the interior art along with Jay Lindstein. We got colors by Lee Loughridge, and we got letters by Steve Wands. Okay, so this is a mix of course, Batman and Fables. Fables is under the Vertigo title from DC. I am a little versed on Fables. Like, I know who Bigby is. He is the sheriff in Fabletown. But Fables, if you don't know, it's kind of like they take fairy tale characters and put them in the real world. Like, for instance, Bigby is the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood and Three Little Pigs. But they take characters like that and they have them in the real world. And I know some of the characters, some of them were villains, some of them were heroes, like the Big Bad Wolf. He ended up being a hero. But with that being said, let's get into it. So it does start out, and Robin is on the rooftops, and he is talking to a kind of, I guess you would say, like a CI. You know, he's an informant. Robin is questioning how come he didn't contact the police before he, contacted him, and basically stating that the fear from Batman it works on many levels. But basically, he does get the information about a crime scene, and Robin is basically like purveying the scene and basically giving the heads up to Batman, which Batman eventually shows up and tells Robin to lay back. Robin does mention that Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown are on their way to help with the investigation, and Batman says it's kind of not needed, but still like okay. Batman does go into the it's kind of like a textile warehouse or something like that. But he does go through, and it's like it's a gruesome scene that he finds, but it's I think it's like 5 different victims that he finds in this textile warehouse, and they have been like torn to shreds, as you can see in the art. We do jump over to a scene across town in Gotham. I'm pretty sure these are the some of the people from Fable's world, but they don't really go into who this individual is. We just know he's somebody of power. Now it might be somebody that we are supposed to know, like from the Fable universe, and I'm just not that well versed on who this is. But his name is Mr. Salinger. But basically, Mr. Salinger is at a retirement party for one of his, because it sounds like he's a made man, like a mob leader or something like that. But basically, he is they are at a retirement party, and one of his associates that's in that life is retiring. There is a conversation with one of his second in command talking about, oh, you're going to let that guy retire? He could turn code and give our secrets to the FBI, and the guy stating that he is not the Joker, that basically that he does have, take pride in people working for him and being able to retire. They have earned their trust, kind of thing. We jump back over to the crime scene with Batman. He's catching up with Robin and Stephanie and Tim, and basically telling them what he found, and that it has matched like 3 or 4 other crime scenes involving a wolf, as far as they can tell. Batman does make some statements like the size of the mouth and some other things don't make any sense. But he basically tells the other Robins to to kind of make sure that maybe the killer isn't around, and basically after that to vanish and meet back at the Batcave. They do jump back over to Mr. Salinger, and he has acquired an individual for questioning. They're basically going to torture him. They are looking for some book, is what they mentioned. But as far as like that is concerned, that's as much as they give us. Mr. Salinger does say that it's supposed to be just a questioning, and they're going to let him go. But as soon as we the torture is introduced, he does not he doesn't lie. He basically tells him that he is going to die, and basically depending on the information that he gives him, that it depends on how he's going to die, either quick or really slow kind of thing. As Mr. Salinger goes out of this situation out in the hall, we run into, it sounds like his bodyguard, and she's kind of mad that he went into that interrogation room, with just the torturer and the Vic present, and not with the bodyguard. And she does mention that he has to be careful, something like that, and she also does mention that they don't want people to find out who they really are, kind of thing, which leads me to believe that they are from that Fable universe. But I'm drawing a blank. Because the way Fables works is they could be anybody. Like the bodyguard could be Cinderella, Mr. Salinger could be Ichabod Crane. It could be a random slew of people that they could be. Now, they might be established people in the Fable universe. Like I said, I'm not well versed in everybody that's in that series. We do jump to a rooftop with Commissioner Gordon, and the bad signal. Batman shows up and finds that Commissioner Gordon has another person with him, and we find out it's a detective from Detroit. She mentions she has heard of Batman, but they always thought it was like a myth back in Detroit. Batman stating to her, whether, what kind of opinion she has for him, whether, he states whether most detectives want to party and chill with him, or the other half want to shoot him on sight, kind of thing. And she just states that she doesn't have an opinion one way or the other yet. Just, she kind of would need to meet him more, gain that real experience to give him that opinion. They go into the logistics for the crime, and Batman kind of states a lot of things that he's found, stating that if it's a wolf, it's kind of odd that every location that they have come across, that the security cameras have been destroyed and disabled. On top of that, if it is a wolf, Batman finds it really weird that there is a very low number of hairs that are around the crime scene. He has found some extra large, long hairs on the crime scene, but they don't, to his recollection, they don't appear like from a wild animal. Like there would be a lot more hair around the crime scene, and not just a couple that he found. Also stating that the facts about the saliva and the bite marks don't resemble a normal size wolf. They go back over to Mr. Salinger, and basically he is talking to the torturer, and the torturer is telling him that he did get all the information that he could get out of this guy, and he does believe that he gave the honest information before he died. But basically they're kind of still at scratch one for whatever they're looking for, the book but that's kind of where they leave that at. We do jump over to a scene where Batman has located, and this would be Bigby, but both of them kind of state that Bigby does state that it is very odd that someone is able to sneak on him. Of course, we know he is the big bad wolf, and he has all the heightened senses of that wolf, but we know Batman has that capability. And at the same note, Batman finds it weird that Bigby knew that he was coming before he got there. Both kind of astounded at their unique skills. Batman does ask him a question. Bigby does not answer in the right way, and Batman just takes to town on this guy, finding out that not only does Bigby have super strength and enhanced endurance, that kind of thing, but Batman stating that it's not, this is not new for him to deal with somebody with unique abilities and enhanced abilities, and he takes Bigby down quite quickly using some kind of gas. And the next thing Bigby knows is he wakes up inside the Batcave, kind of weirded out and not understanding on what's going on, but that's where the book leaves us off for this issue. for a first issue, and not being well versed in the Fable, the verse. They did a really good job with, kind of putting you into that world. I will say there is the, like, as far as like the explanation behind Bixby, they don't give in this one. I'm hoping that there is more, explanation on who Bixby is for those beginner readers. I do know who he is, but they do give little information on that. They give more information about the Fable universe kind of thing. Okay, with that aside, the art is just amazing. It's one of the things that sells me on this book. I was very happy to see that it had very good art inside. It could have gone halfway where it was like a different type of art, but I'm glad they went with this, a more realistic looking art. Another thing I wasn't sure about was where this fit in, like, continuity wise, or what age they were going to stick this in. I'm kind of glad it's a more modern, having Stephanie and Tim in the mix. Because they usually, when they do Fables, they kind of stick with the older fashioned kind of looking appeal to how Fables goes. So I was kind of thinking they might have stuck it with the 30s or 40s Batman. So it's nice to see that it's a modern Batman. But for a first book, I highly recommend it, especially if you do like Batman, or if you like the Fables universe. It seems like it's going to be a good 6-book read. But that's my review. Of course, many more coming. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good fun stuff, free stuff. I'll be back with you all in a little bit. You have a great day. Bye.